What's going on, guys? Bandit Keith here, and welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything's first ever deck list profile. This is something that I've wanted to do for a long time. This is a deck that I have been running pretty recently at locals. I just went 3x at a locals not too long ago, a couple of weekends ago, and I am so stoked to share this deck list with you guys. This is obviously based around the Junta Warrior archetype that has taken the TCG by storm. A lot of the support came out in Brothers of Legend not too long ago, and we are just going to dive right in. So without further ado, let's begin. I hope you guys enjoy. Alright guys, so even though this is a Warrior Junta deck, I think the Odd Eyes cards actually work very well with it, and I'll kind of go over the different, plays that you can make with this deck, of course, at the end. But as always, we're going to start with the main deck. So I'm just running two Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragons. So Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon is a really, really good combo starter for this deck. And, yeah, that's going to be a very good card to run. Really the only Pendulum cards that we actually do run in this deck. Up next, and this is a big combo starter here, is the Three-Eyed Devil. So this, of course, is a Devil Junta card. Select one of your monsters, which is below 1,500 points to your hand, when send this to the graveyard. So the Three-Eyed Junta is a really, really good card because, again, once it's destroyed in battle, you can send this to the grave, and you can basically search any monster that has 1,500 attack points or less. I'm going to actually zoom in here so you guys can kind of get a better look there. But Three-Eyed Devil is going to be a big card to play. And then we're going to run 3 copies of Magic Kettle God. So Magic Kettle God, which I'm sure most of you know, this is kind of a staple. Select one powerful Keta from the cards and send it to the graveyard and take 3 cards from your own deck. So the thing about Magic Kettle God, the thing that makes this so good is obviously it is a massive search. You select one powerful Kettle from the cards, send it to the grave, and then you take 3 cards from your own deck. So, obviously, this is a card that was inspired by Pot of Greed. You can see the Pot of Greed on the head of this genie. And I'm surprised this hasn't been hit yet. Probably a card that's going to get hit in the upcoming ban list. But for now, it's completely unlimited. So we're going to run it at 3. Up next is Motorized Gear Man. I only run 2 of these cards. And this is a card that has actually gotten me out of some really tough spots. Again, it's a Machine Junta card. Pay 800 points of life scores in this bout. This card can attack the adversary directly. So you pay 800, you deal 800. I only like to run 2 because I feel like 3 can be a little bricky and kind of kill a lot of combos that the deck is running. But running a card of this is really good because basically you summon this card, and unless your opponent can stop you, you are going to be able to deal 800 points of damage to them with a direct attack. Basically, you have this card, your opponent has less than 800 life points, you win the duel. It's as simple as that, guys. It's really a no-brainer, and it's an obvious 2 of. I only run 1 of this card, but it's Giant Mouse. Giant Mouse, and this one is very, very damaged, so I do apologize for the condition. It has an animal effect. Because of the fighting, it should be sent to the graveyard. At that time, you can call a monster of land with the attacking force below 1,500 from card. Yeah, this is an older card, so the language is a little weird. For those shown on with its front side above grade 5, no use as obligation. Again, shuffle. Shuffle. So yeah, basically, you can do whatever you want. The effect on this card, it's been a debate, obviously, in the community for quite some time, is so convoluted that you should send it to the graveyard, but you don't have to. The text is very important there, and even though it should be sent, and obviously, we got that in that beautiful hexagon rarity, which, of course, was very, very early on, but that's a card that, let me tell you, you can really just, because of the legality of it, run a lot and have a lot of fun with. So we're going to run 2 man-made electronic robots. Of course, this is a card that most of you probably know as Jinzo, but this is a different variant of Jinzo, was released in the Brothers of Legend set. When this card exists facing in the field, the trap card cannot be run. All the trap cards in the field will be nullification. So very similar effect as Jinzo there. Basically, any trap card is not going to be activated, and that is a great card to allow the deck to hit its full Warrior Junta combo. We're going to run 2 Dark-Eyed White Dragons. Pretty simple there, just a huge vanilla beater. And then we are going to run 3 Night Kites. Again, a big vanilla beater here, but again, Warrior Junta is going to be key to this deck. Night is is riding a horse whose speed is higher than the wind. Be careful of its sudden attack. We're going to run 3 Night Kites there. The reason I run 3 Night Kites and not 3 Dark-Eyed Dragons, I'll kind of get to in a little bit, but this is another staple of the deck, and that's Spikebot. It is a level 5 vanilla monster. 1800 attack, 1700 defense, but again, we love our machine monsters in this deck, and running 3 of those is kind of key. And then, of course, this is a big one, chat. Chaos Emperor, Dragon Envoy of the End. I know that text is a little weird, and I'm going to do my best to kind of read this to you. This card can only be special summoned by removing 1 light and 1 dark monster in your grave from play. Pay 1,000 of your life points to send all cards in both players' hand and on the field to the graveyard. Inflict 300 points of damage to your opponent's life points for each card that is sent to the graveyard by this effect. Great card. I don't like running more than 1 because I feel it can get a little bricky, but we are running 1 Chaos Envoy Emperor of the End. Beautiful card. And let me tell you, these are the 2 starters of the Junta Warrior combo. Now, we got Devil Mayella and Great Angel Yulade. I'm going to start with Devil Mayella. Hopefully this renders in because this is a beautiful card. There we go. A beautiful card. And again, it is a dragon machine melting monster. This card cannot use as usual calling. When multi-devil exists in the field, you give up 1 yellow warrior in your own field. Special calling is available, and when the calling is successful, the adversary will give up 3 cards. When devil is not in your own field is nullification. So if your opponent does not have 3 cards in their hand and cannot give up 3 cards when Devil Mayella's effect goes off, you win the duel. It is as simple as that, ladies and gentlemen. I got my one friend, John, at locals a couple of weekends ago. I played Devil Mayella. He had 2 cards in his hand. He couldn't send 3 cards. He couldn't give up 3 cards, and the duel was over. You can't fill this effect requirement of sending 3 cards. That's the duel. So if your opponent has less than 3 cards in their hand, you always want to go into Devil Mayella. It is literally a game ender. And then, of course, the other option that you have is Great Angel Yulade. This is a great turn 1 card. This card cannot be used as usual calling. When this card is existing in the Saint City or field, give up the yellow warrior from your own field. You can calling without reporting. When 1 piece of the light-liking monster was through to the graveyard, all of the monsters in the adversary's field will be destroyed. This will be a nullification when there is no Saint City in your field. So you have a Junta warrior to sacrifice, or a yellow warrior, excuse me, and you are all set. Great Angel Yulade, I think, is a great card to get on the board first, because, again, if you can summon a yellow warrior on your second turn after your opponent makes their board, you can just wipe their board clean. And, you know, Devil Mayella, Great Angel Yulade, these are really the 2 endgame cards of this deck. But if your opponent has more than 3 cards in their hand, I'm always going with Great Angel Yulade. And then, of course, the yellow warriors. We're going to run 3 of them. These are the cards that make the combos, and they're pretty big beaters as well. 2,500 attack. And the cool thing about the Yellow Warrior archetype is you can run multiple sets of the same name as long as they have different artwork on them. So here are 2 more Yellow Warriors. Of course, you can see the stats are different, the level's different, the effect's different, or the description's different because it's vanilla. And because of that, you are allowed by the rules of Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't have to explain it to you. You guys are the expert duelists. You are allowed to run 2 different versions of Yellow Warrior. So you have 5 different Yellow Warriors in here to try to get Devil Mayella's effect off, or Great Angel Yulade. And of course, that is just going to be absolutely devastating for your opponent. So I do run 2 of the level 4 Yellow Warriors, and I run 4 of the level 8 Yellow Warriors. And now we do play some spells and traps in this deck. And if you've been watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, you guys know that I love cards that have anime characters on them. You might not know this girl, but this is actually my Valentine. If you're old like me, you probably know the original Yu-Gi-Oh! And she was a character in the original Yu-Gi-Oh! This is, of course, one of the personality motif cards, a new type of spell that was released in Brothers of Legend. You can choose 1 kind of Junta at the beginning of the game in your field and hand. This Junta will be the bird and beast with 1 name, which will be given at the start. 200 scores of attack and defense will be increased. So this is a searcher. You play this card, you search a Yellow Warrior, because Yellow Warrior, again, is a Junta monster, and you have your combo right there. So Peacock Dance, a great combo starter. We play at 1. And here's another cool anime reference, Talent Playground. Another personality motif card. This one I've kind of gone back and forth on a bit, especially with my buddies at Locals. They think this is a really bricky card in the deck, but it's gotten me out of some tough jams, I got to be honest with you. In own bout, check the cards in adversary's hand and field. When give up 200 points of life score, or the attack and defense power of Machine Junta will be increased by 200 points, only one time in one bout. So, you can basically look at your entire opponent's field just by paying 200 life points. You pay 200 life points, and much like Esperoba would in the anime, you can look at every card your opponent has in their hand and every card they have set on the field. So again, I think it's a really good card. A few people at my Locals don't really love it, but I don't know. I'm a big fan of Talent Playground. Might even bump it up to 2. We're going to run 1 Risk Machine type 6s or 2. This card's been around a while. I'm not even going to bother reading that description. And we run a Lightning Blade. If you need to maybe get over a really tough boss monster attack-wise, Lightning Blade is always a really solid card to use, and of course it's just going to increase the attack of a warrior type monster, so a great spell card there. As for some traps, we do play 2 Summons of the Light. This is a trap that I think is going to be really good. I think this could be the new Evenly Matched in the metagame. You can choice from your own graveyard the same amount of light-liking monster cards as you give up in the graveyard. To the graveyards, excuse me. So basically, if you have 5 cards in the graveyard and you have 5 cards in your hand, you can swap your entire hand with your entire graveyard. If that doesn't sound like a really good card, I just don't think you really know Yu-Gi-Oh! So, really good card there. And then, of course, I mean, this is a card that I did a video on it a while ago. Bekka's. Another classic Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monster card. It does feature, at least I believe it's him, Maximilian Pegasus, if you don't know, the original first villain from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters anime. Give up 1,000 points of life score. You can choice a card from the deck as you like. This ability can just used in your main bout, then the score of the life will start from 6,000 points. So you give up 1,000 life points, you search a card from the deck, it's a free search, and then your life points become 6,000. If you're low on life points, let's say you have 1,800 life points left, you basically get a free card and a 4,000 life point boost. So who wouldn't want to run a Bekka's? Of course, that is limited at 1. That's why we only run 1. And then we run 2 Deem Lights. The defense power, which is existing in the obverse side of the field, will be 0 in the end. So, again, your opponent is trying to set some cards because they don't want to feel the wrath of your Junta warriors. You just hit them with a Deem Light. Their defense becomes 0, and you're pretty much good to go and good to burst through the deck. So, now we're going to get to the extra deck. I know the main deck's already pretty lethal, but the extra deck, let me tell you something, is really, really just as fun. We do run a Dark Rebellion. It's good generic rank 4. We only run 1 YZ Track Dragon. It is, again, a machine and a combination effect. It's a Dragon Head. It's a Z Metal Tank. I mean, you know this card. Really, really good fusion monster. So we're going to run one of those. We are running a Meteorite Black Dragon. It has a true Red Eyes Black Dragon and a Meteorite Dragon. So remember, Red Eyes does not work here. True Red Eyes, but 3,500 attack. That is a really good card to go into if we have to. And then, of course, we have the new Aqua Fusions, which were also released in that Brothers of Legend set. A Worm Drake, Humanoid Slime. It's an Aqua Fusion. 3,300 attack, 3,000 defense. Obviously, it is a Marek-based fusion monster or inspired from his slime cards. So we are going to run 2 humanoid Worm Drakes. I think they're really, really underrated cards. And then you guys, I'm sure you know what this is based off of. Super Magic Warrior. It is a Magic Herald Junta melting effect in which you need Black Fiend and Talented Warrior. I'm not going to read you the effect, but it is a super, super good card and a very similar effect to Black Paladin. And so we are going to run 3 of the Super Magic Warriors. We're also running a card inspired by 5-God Dragon, Dragon FGD. This is a game ender. It's as simple as that. You get this card out, you probably win. 5,000 attack, 5,000 defense. You can summon it with some of the yellow warriors in your deck. I think you just need 5 yellow warriors. You fuse them. You get 5-God Dragon, 5,000 attack. It's not allowed to be targeted by effects. It's pretty much a game over. We're also going to run 2 Magic Chariot of the Labyrinth. You got Machine Wolf and Cannon Warrior combo there, which obviously we run both of those cards. And of course, you couldn't do it. We run Blue Eyes for a reason. Endless Dragon with Blue Eyes. Same exact effect and requirement as Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, which of course is a card you guys know from the anime. And so this is just a really good deck. I do have a side deck that sometimes I run if I need to switch in a card. Obviously, your side deck can be 15 cards. So yeah, you know, just kind of your staples here. We have a few giant rats. And then, of course, at the end, we do have Shaddoll Fusion. If you didn't notice, we do run a few fusion monsters in the extra deck. So to get into some of these fusion plays, you probably want to have a fusion card in the deck to fuse your Yellow Warriors. But guys, let me tell you something. This deck is super good. It is a deck that I really think is going to win me a giant card. I think it's going to take me probably straight to the finals of a YCS coming up. I know one just got announced in Niagara Falls. Probably going to take this deck to YCS Niagara Falls and see what happens. But let me know what you think. Obviously, you guys are the experts. This is my first ever deck profile, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on the deck. Some weaknesses. I don't think it has any weaknesses personally. Some strengths. Every strength in this deck. But please, you're the experts. Let me know your thoughts on this deck down below. The Yellow Warrior Junta deck. And if you have any cards that you think could be really good techs, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. I think this deck's perfect, but, you know, thank you all so much for watching. Long live Yu-Gi-Oh! And I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care.